and Myanmar. Okay.
So, please.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you have a great day. So the first group already present about the ecotourism. That's really interesting. So for our group, we choose to present about the cultural and traditional clothes. How new generation face challenge to maintain their own traditional clothes and the traditional culture and traditional clothes in between Vietnam and Myanmar. So we focus these two countries. So our group name is MATHLOT. MATHLOT means like we pick up the first name of each member. So it means that we are matched a lot in terms of our interest and choice of the topic. Okay.
Yeah.
So we will introduce our each member name.
Em muốn để em thuyết trình rồi em sẽ giới thiệu sau thì.
Okay. So Amy, my name out represent A.
Okay, I am MatthloT and I use DT, so it represents T.
H.
And I am Muna and my first name is N.
Hello everybody. My name is Honey. I'm from MATHLOT.
Yes. Very nice. So before we start our presentation, so as we since we focus about the traditional clothes, we would like to reflect that what is the meaning of the traditional clothes. So traditional clothes is like a reflecting that our custom, our value, and our identity. So the community that we belong to, each community has their specific meaning, their own culture, or their own clothes that represent their meaning and their value. So another thing is that in this world, in this global world, the traditional clothes is like a showcase of the diversity of the human culture and the tradition and their unique fashion style, and also that each traditional clothes have their own significant meanings, and this information and the meaning can convey the people about their personal identity, also heritage and the custom of each community. So in this modernized world, young people have a lot of changing situation because they have a lot of choice to choose the clothes and the branding outfit. Also at the same time, it's like a very stylish clothes, the traditional dress change to the style clothes like a westernized, westernized clothes and the fashion. They change their mind to follow with the fashion trending. Another thing is that we would like to reflect that. Also, we would like to highlight that. So it is very important to learn our traditional dress and the culture between Vietnam and Myanmar. So as we call Burma. So in terms of preservation our own culture. At the same time, we will focus between old people and the new generation, how they face the challenge to maintain the traditional clothes. So this is our research question and some research objective. So our research question focus how does young generation face challenge to maintain their culture and traditional dress in the modern time between Vietnam and Burma. So our objective is we would like to understand how old and young people present their culture and between Vietnam and Burma in this modern time. Also, we would like to compare the similarity and differences between those two countries. So this is our dimension. The first dimension we would like to focus on social relation, and another thing is that social inequality in terms of the traditional clothes. Another thing is the social discrimination based on our traditional clothes in this modern time. Okay, our Vietnamese friend will present.
Hello everyone. I'm Oanh. I'm all in the MATHLOT. Yeah, I'm now I represent a student Vietnam to present on the topic talk about difference between the young people and old people of Vietnam, a culture dress of Vietnam. The first is social relation. In Vietnam, there are many events where everyone is interested in snacking, and it also has a different between the events. For example, at parties such as wedding reception, most young people will tend to wear modern and splendid clothes, and the elderly will follow the trend of politeness and privacy. Or look at the picture. Young people are talking about how dressed they were, such like she said that must show a little Britain, to be sexy, and and she comment on how old people dress like this. You see it a shack. And next is social inequality. Is shown through two indicator. First is price. The gap between rich and poor has so far affected the custom between classes, and the previous generation, older people has less access to aspects of society and is familiar with old concepts. So the need for clothes will be different. Young people today live in modern society and inner socialized environment and access right early. So their needs are also different from those of the elderly. And unelderly custom is mainly a street ranging from 50 to 200,000 such that like that is this clothing just 100,000 Vietnam dong. And old people think that these clothes are not want to be fashionable and stylish like our children. But it is important to be convenient, easy to do, and especially cheap. Over time, is gradually penetrates into the daily life of the elderly. As for young people, something that expensive clothes show their wealth and status. And mostly influenced by European, Chinese, Korean, and especially famous brands such as Gucci, Chanel, and Prada. And the most range from this clothing is expensive. Yeah, and next is origin of custom. The origin from which the custom is produced is also related to the price and clothes that the elder often use will be made in Vietnam, so the price will cheaper, and young people often tend to use important goods from other country, so the house will be more expensive. Yeah. The final is regarding social discrimination. Is the first is ethnicity. Is in Vietnam there are 54 ethnic groups, of which the king account for 85.3%, and the rest are ethnic minority, and the king use modern custom and follow the style from Europe, and the king people use the traditional dress called áo gai. Yeah, which is also consider the traditional custom of Vietnam. Although áo gai is the traditional custom of Vietnam, ethnic minority have traditional custom that bring their own identity and diversifies the cultural identity of Vietnam. However, if using áo gai to go everywhere is a thing of pride, but with traditional custom of ethnic group, when using it to go many places in Vietnam, some people will have rather discriminatory looks, and this is clearly discriminatory. Yeah, and second is perspective. Because the generation are different, the opinion on how to dress are also different, and the elder think that clothes that must be convenient, discreet, and cheap as other most appropriate. And as for young people, they think that if the clothes are worn according to their style, and as long as they feel comfortable, it is appropriate, and young people clothes are getting a little sexy, gorgeous, and expensive. Sometimes there are some people for the reason that like it who wear clothes that are somewhat inappropriate. Therefore, all people with a traditional perspective, we have thought and judgment about the way other people dress. Just like young people will not like to wear old people clothes because they think it makes them look older than their year and country. Yeah. So in the end, the customer between the custom between the young and old people have a clear difference. create different perspective and the custom also answer the question, who are you in the context of modern society. And next is, yeah, thank you.
So our Vietnamese friend present about the house of fashion, traditional clothing is changing in the Vietnamese society. So the first point he highlight that the Vietnamese some traditional clothes is not appropriate in certain event and situation. So another thing is that the price of traditional clothes is like quite expensive. So some people cannot afford it because of the modern clothes is like cheaper than the traditional clothes. So people start to wear the modern clothes instead of the traditional clothes. Another point is that like the in terms of the traditional clothes and the modern clothes, that has like a different perspective between old generation and the new generation. There is what's happening in the Vietnamese society. So in the focusing on the Myanmar side. So in Myanmar side, I think old people and the young people, because most of the old people live in the rural setting, in the rural environment. So for that, the rural environment is like a more isolated society. So they have less contact with the outsider and the modernized modernity. So that's why they can easily to maintain their old traditional dress and the cultural culture. Also, they have more willingness to preserve their old culture rather than the young people. For the young people, most of them migrating into the town or city and for the purpose of the business and some activity. So for the people, young generation who live in the urban area and the city or town, they had more chance to explore with the modern society and the modern clothing, fashion. So that is like they are facing directly impact of the globalization in terms of the fashion and fashion trend. So that is like a casual factor why young people face challenge to maintain their old culture, traditional clothes. Because of the first thing, the like a changing fashion trend. Because of like the traditional clothes is not appropriate some certain event to do like it is like harder to wear in certain occasion or the festival. Another thing is that accessibility and availability. To make the traditional clothes, that has like we need a lot of craftsmanship, also material. This material is like right now, this material is a little bit harder to find out. So also it take more time to make a traditional clothes. So another thing is that the cost. So as our Vietnamese friend mentioned that, so traditional clothes is like really expensive because it had to make with a lot of material and other necessary pattern or the weaving or something like that. So that's why the young generation does not wear a lot of like a traditional clothes because of the cost. Another thing is the lifestyle changing. As we mentioned that young people, majority of young people live in the urban area. So in the urban lifestyle is changing a lot. So working environment is like a demand practical clothes or like appropriate clothes to wear the like a professional setting or something like that. So another thing is that cultural assimilation. In this globalized world, we can see that like a lot of fashion trending through the internet or the like a television or something like that. So that's why young generation try to wear the like modernized clothes. So the last one is the generation changing. Generation changing means like old generation might have like they have their value to maintain their culture, but young generation might have like a little interest to maintain their traditional clothes and old culture. So this is like an old generation and young generation in the Burma. So right now they change to another dressing style. Then, and the move down would do that.
Before that, I'm very happy, and this is a good opportunity to present my ethnic group in this room and from my Vietnam friends. And this is my ethnic group, and these are in the Karenni state, and one part of ethnic group in Karenni state. There have many ethnic groups in there, but this is my ethnic group, so I present my ethnic. And I would like to have you see this picture before. Not this picture, I mean this ethnic group before. The dress.
So I saw, picture on the internet, kind of, I don't know how to say in English, but people, they wear a lot.
Yeah.
In Vietnam, we also have.
We also have.
This kind of.
Oh wow. And I would like to say that this done many years ago. You can see that the clothes and the ring, the next one is changing like this maybe 100 years ago, and this one maybe 15 years ago, and this one is 20 years ago. So you can see that the dress or the clothes changes. Like here, maybe brown or black or white color, and this one is also changes. And yeah, this girl is me. Yeah, this girl is me and my brother. Yeah.
So in your time, the ring is shorter, right?
The shorter, you can see that this one is more longer. Me, I stopped 4 years, and I stopped 9 or 10 years. Yeah.
5 people on the
Balance. And
the name of ethnic.
Yes. And we changed, like a new generation change their clothes on culture or traditional is because nowadays it's a model. So we would like to wear the simple clothes and comfortable clothes, because it is easy. Like for the traditional clothes, it's very like difficult to wear, and also so hot, something like that. And also we follow the model, like today is the technology. We have social media, and we watch like a different ethnic group or different country, like their clothes. So we follow them because they look good, and we also want to look good also like that. Okay. And we change our clothes. It's not because the time or situation or something like that. We also change like the place. For example, in the school, our uniform, we have to follow the uniform. We have to follow the school rule. Like we cannot wear our cultural or traditional clothes all the time. Like in the school, we have to follow the school uniform, and also the visiting place, and also the place like in the Myanmar, in Thailand, we also have a different fashion style. And this one I order from the Myanmar, and this one is Thailand. So you can see that even the country, we are the same ethnic group, but the fashion is changing, like not the same. So can you bet? We would like to wear the model clothes because, and it's like some of our traditional clothes and also property is difficult to find and difficult to get. Like you can see, and this one is a necklace, and this is like we made by money, like white. So this is so difficult and also expensive, around 20 to 30,000 baht. So this is difficult for the new generation to have and to have a necklace. So, and this one also we have a comb and also helping. So this all made by money, quite. So also the how to say, the people who make this one are less, and we cannot find the people who can make like a necklace and cup and also helping like that. So, and yeah, traditional property is very expensive and difficult to find and to get and to buy. So we just change and want to wear the model clothes for easy and cheaper one. Yeah. Thank you.
So that one is another the ethnic group in Myanmar, the Karen. So Chichi ethnic group. You can explain.
So this is Korean ethnic, one of the ethnic in Myanmar.
Sorry.
Okay, so as we talk about old and new generation, right? Their fashion choice and their traditional dress, how they maintain it. Yeah, we look at the new generation, we see, yeah, this is kind of Korean dress. But it's changing, you see. In the past, you might have like long gear, very thick, that made by cotton. And also for the men, for the boy, so they had to wear this kind of traditional dress. So we compare to it from the past till now, right? Until now, right? So the situation, because of the situation and the modernization and the globalization impact. So we are also changing our fashion. So we look at this girl, is wearing a Korean shirt, a Korean dress, but in a modern way. So we modernize our dress, but in the same way we preserve our culture also. Yeah. So conclusion.
So we would like to conclude our presentation. So about the traditional clothes, why it's important to keep our traditional dress? Because of the first thing is the identity. Because of the traditional clothes represent who we are, where we belong to, the which community. So it represents our identity and also cultural identity. Also another thing is that like a sense of belonging. If we see like the people wearing the same traditional dress with us, so we feel that we are the same people and we belong to the same community. It's like a reinforced sense of belonging. Another thing is that the traditional clothes is like a bridge. It's have like a bridge between the past and the present and future. It is like a connection between old generation and new generation to maintain their culture. So the most important thing is if we no longer have our traditional costume or traditional dress, so it will lose our value or the culture and the religion or the spiritual value or the specific group or the people identity. So that's why the traditional costume help us to maintain our cultural identity as well as our individual and personal identity. So that's why maintaining our traditional dress is essential and important. Even in this modern world, we can integrate into modernity, but we should not ignore and forget our own traditional clothes, because this is our identity. That's all. Thank you.